Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Real Men Real Style, and today we're going to be talking about how does a lawyer look sharp with no money and no time. Okay, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. By doing that, these videos will come right to you. In addition, if you like this, if you enjoy it, I would appreciate it if you would click the like button right down there. In addition, I'm going to link you to an article which is going to expand on what I'm talking about today. And finally, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't grabbed it, make sure to go down there and grab our free 47-page ebook. It's over at Real Men Real Style, and I put a lot of time and effort into it. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, let's jump right to the question. Antonio, my biggest style challenge is cost. I'm a third-year law student working 2 lawyer jobs with a special license that allows me to work as a lawyer and be a student at the same time. I'm in the courtroom at least 3 days a week on various matters ranging from divorce to felony defense. I make very little after rent, food, books, and tuition. I currently have a black suit that's decent fitting, but how do I assemble a wardrobe that keeps me looking like a lawyer on a small budget? The other problem I have is that I'm muscular, 6'4", 225 pounds, so most suits do not fit me off the rack. Thank you for any help, Jason. All right, Jason. It's one of those catch-22s. You're in a position where, as a young lawyer coming up, you want to do and spend as much time possible working with, I think probably, doing internships, working with different judges, doing all types of pro bono work, everything you can to gain experience. On the other hand, you're not really getting paid for this. You're looking at this as an investment in your future, but when it comes down to it, you can't pay the rent. You can't buy new clothing just by saying, hey, I'll pay you in 5 years, in 10 years. Now, maybe, a few years ago before this whole credit crunch, you could have gotten, those 0% APR credit cards, not pay those off for 10 years. But okay, it's not going to happen today. You need to figure out you're young, you have no money, and you have no time, which usually with young people, I tell them, hey, you've got time, especially if you're just a regular college student, go out there and, trade your time by going through thrift stores. It sounds like that is an option, which you're kind of saying isn't really an option for you because, well, you just don't have, again, the time for it. So what I'm going to suggest is a little bit unconventional, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So number one is you're probably going to have to accept that you are going to have to compromise. You're going to be surrounded by lawyers and judges who perhaps you meet out in town, you meet at social events, you meet at those monthly get-togethers for education that I know you lawyers have, and you're going to notice that they've got great-looking suits, and these guys look sharp. And you're going to have to realize you're not at that point, and you probably can't afford those $2,000 custom-made suits that those guys are wearing. On the other hand, as long as you focus on fit, which for somebody with your build is going to be the big issue, you're going to be good. And you're saying, okay, Antonio, how can I focus on fit, again, when I have no time or no money? You're going to want to look for a designer brand or somebody who makes clothing that actually is more for your body type. There's not one, again, I'm a custom clother, so I don't really spend a whole lot of time in stores, but you can go out there and look. Also, you are going to want to spend some time in thrift stores, but not in the way that I normally suggest. So normally I would suggest that people go into thrift stores, and this is number 2, by the way. I would suggest that people go into thrift stores and they look around. Now for you, what I would suggest is you want to have like kind of a net of thrift stores. You want to get to know the people that work there, and you want to put out a bounty. And you want to give them your measurements, and you want to say, hey, this is the type of suit I'm looking for. This is my position. If you can help me find it, I'll tip you. I'll pay you $20. People, no one does that. And you go in and do that, you're going to make an impression, especially if you've got a good story. And it sounds like, you're young, you're probably pretty attractive, and there's usually, young women that work there. You can make this happen. But what you're doing is you're asking other people to be out looking for you. If you haven't already, you need to ask your family. If you've got sisters, if you've got brothers, really get other people involved and let them know about your plight. Don't be embarrassed by it. Be proud that you're the kind of man that you want to take control of the situation, and you're going to go whatever means necessary. As I've been building up my company, I've had to swallow my pride a lot of times. And it just comes down to, hey, if you want to succeed, you need to be willing to do what most people aren't willing to do. Okay. The other one is focus on fit. I talked about that earlier by looking maybe for a designer, and the reason you want to go possibly with a designer brand versus something, from the Men's Wearhouse is the Men's Wearhouse, Jose Banks, decent starter companies, but most of their clothing is going to be square. And for somebody of your height and your build, it's going to be really tough to get this stuff altered. But let's say you get stuck with that. Well, you still want to focus on fit. Take it to a seamstress or a tailor. And most seamstresses are women, and you're going to notice that these are usually older women, and offer to barter. Perhaps you don't have the $50 to $100 that they would normally charge. Tell them your story and make an offer. Say, hey, I can't pay the full amount, but I'm willing to, you sound like a big, strong guy. Look around. Look at what needs to be done. Perhaps these ladies, they need to get something moved out of the office big and heavy. Perhaps they need someone to come in, and yeah, you may have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday and work till 10 o'clock cleaning out, the entire, maybe working on the landscaping of their office building. But you know what? It's going to be worth it because you're going to save money and you're going to create a relationship, which is a lot different than, they have with a lot of customers. Again, use your story. You've got a good one and people want to help people. So I've talked about putting out a bounty, focusing on fit, bartering, accept that you're going to have to compromise. Now, you're going to probably compromise on fabric. So fit and style, don't compromise on style. Well, you don't want anything like the 1970s or 60s, but you can, look at it. You're going to want to, focus on the fit. That's the number one thing. Then look at the style. And I talk about fit and style in other articles, so I'm not going to get into it too deep. You're going to compromise on fabric. So if you find something that's 50% wool, 50% polyester, well, it's going to be okay at this point. When you start making a little bit more money, take care of those tailors that helped you out, and also look to upgrade the quality of your suits. All right, sir. I hope that helped you out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.